Hello, everyone, and welcome to Analytical Fanboys, the weekly Modular Media Club podcast, where myself, one of the hosts, the Vacuuminator, and my co-host, the weaponized Boingo Rider.
Hi, I'm Canadian and short.
Yeah. We get together and we discuss one thing randomly selected from a topic list that we put together, as well as a bunch of other little things afterwards. But right now, we're going to get right into the main event of this episode by discussing a wrestling pay-per-view called No Surrender 2007. That's right. I couldn't remember if it was 7 or 5 because I'm stupid. But this is a show from TNA, no, not that TNA, Total Nonstop Action. Chris, could you fucking believe they made that joke in the opening package?
Yeah, I have a feeling they probably made that joke a lot.
Yeah. But yeah, this is a classic wrestling pay-per-view that I don't think either of us had seen before, but I've always been super interested in just because at this point in time in TNA, Kurt Angle had every championship, and he has to defend every one of them in this show.
Which, first things first, that's a great concept for just a single pay-per-view. Fantastic idea, fantastic angle. It works. And I think the big thing is we don't watch this company, TNA Impact, anytime it's been.
The only thing I've ever seen from them is the Broken Matt saga.
That and like bits and segments of like the LOL TNA shit, you know? Like Jeff Hardy coming out drunk as a skunk.
I've only ever seen that because of the WWE documentary about the Hardys where they bring that up. And
but like that's what I'm saying, like clips like that, or like the weird AJ Styles storyline with the fucking baby.
Oh yeah, that I haven't thought about that in ages.
Yeah, so all we know is like the shit, like the not good stuff, and Broken Matt Hardy's over there.
Yeah, he's just off in his own little corner.
And then we come into this pay-per-view, which already has a cool concept. It's like, oh, Kurt Angle has to defend every single belt. That's a neat concept. And then you watch the pay-per-view and you go like, oh, hey, it's that guy. Oh, hey, it's that guy. Oh, no, it's that guy. Oh, hey, it's that guy.
It is literally like I could best describe the impression I got from this pay-per-view as somebody playing with their action figures from a bunch of different lines, but in a really fun way.
But here's the thing. This happened before we knew them.
Yeah.
So, like, it's fascinating to me how good of an eye TNA had for talent.
Mm-hmm. This is like a secret origins of our tastes in wrestling.
Yeah.
But yeah, do we want to just start running down the card and like giving our thoughts as we go?
Yeah, because I have a couple little thoughts, but I feel probably would work better as we like plant them along as we go.
Yeah, and I mean like this show is so interesting because it aired on the same day as the NFL season began that year. So the entire opening package, well, it does bring up that Angle has all the belts, he has all the gold, and therefore all the power. He is like only a small feature in it because they're mostly putting over the fact of like, hey, football is a thing, NFL theme. And then they just go straight into Kurt Angle and Sting versus Ron the Truth Killings and Pac-Man?
He was a football star at the time.
That's what I've been told. Also, I've been told that he did some fuckboy shit behind the scenes, which led to TNA hiring him.
Yeah, well, Brian Zane, we watched Brian Zane's video on this pay-per-view because he reviews old pay-per-views. He basically said, like, yeah, no, he was signed to be a wrestler, but the NFL team he was on didn't want him risking his body, so he couldn't wrestle.
Yeah. So this entire match is just like goofy drama shit with Sting and Angle. Meanwhile, Truth is desperately trying to win the match while Pac-Man just sits on the outside.
It is literally just a handicap match.
It's bizarre, but I liked it.
It was fine. It was an interesting match. It was more Angle than match.
Mm-hmm. I mean, basically what happens is Angle and Sting come out. It's fully established that, like, they're not on the best terms, but they're trying to defend the belts anyways.
And it's Sting before he watched The Dark Knight.
Yeah. So Sting does most of the match, and then Angle gets in for a hot tag because he needs to get limbered up for his other two matches. And then Kurt's wife comes in, and she's just doing goofy, yelling on the outside shit, and Sting's like, hey, get the fuck out of here with that.
But he does it in a very sudden and dramatic manner.
Yeah, and she acts like she got hit, so Angle gets mad and basically costs them the match.
Yeah, I mean, you would expect a guy defending all three belts to lose some of them in the night.
Yeah.
It makes sense storyline-wise.
Mm-hmm.
But then all of a sudden, Kevin Nash shows up and is like, what the fuck are you doing here, bro?
Kevin Nash doing a Dr. Phil gimmick.
Are your quads okay, Kevin Nash?
It was like, this is where I really got into the, this is people playing with action figures thing. Because, like, I would never think to do this weird psychiatrist advisor thing with Kevin Nash.
I think he was the GM. I think he was the general manager of TNA.
I thought that was what they were implying with what's his name? Old racist guy.
That narrows it down none.
Cornette. I just remembered his name. Cornette.
Right. I think it's Cornette's, like, that role, and Kevin Nash might have been like the fucking Stephanie McMahon role.
Oh. But yeah, it's just weird. And then, like, of course, we go backstage, and Kevin Nash is trying to get the Angles to calm down, and then the Sting is like, "I did not hit her. I did not." And
fuck, he even has the hair for it.
Yeah, and then Cornette comes in, and he basically goes, "Sting, you're fucking done. Go to the hotel. Mrs. Angle, you're fucking done. Go to the hotel. Kurt, either you get your shit together, or I'm just gonna take all the belts away from you."
Oh, at least he didn't say any more shit.
Yeah. Jim Cornette, what a special person. But then we go on to probably one of the best matches of the night in Rhino versus James Storm.
Genuinely really good. Rhino looked fantastic. Of course, it's 2007, and we've only known him, post 2016.
I literally did not know. The only thing I know about Rhino is that people like him from ECW. I've never watched any ECW.
I think he's one of the last people who was in ECW.
Mm-hmm. But James Storm, he's in NWA right now, and I fucking love him in NWA. So I was like, I forgot you were on this show. Yeah, James Storm. Let's do some James Storm. And then the entire match is just, haha, Rhino's an alcoholic. Look at this. Isn't this bad? Isn't he a dumb person? Get him out of here. And then James Storm gets the shit beaten out of him for that, and it's pretty good to see. It's a good wrestling.
Rhino had a fantastic fucking promo going like, yeah, it's a fucking illness. I'm dealing with it. I'm gonna fail. Fuck you.
It's so good. Like, genuinely one of the best looking into the camera deliveries I've seen in a while.
Yeah, and I mostly know Rhino from when he was teaming with Heath Slater.
Yeah, that's the thing I mostly know him from too.
And there he's just like a goofy, like, yeah, man, you can do it. And like to see that similar attitude go like, nah, man, fuck you, I can do this, is like, shit, that's cool.
Yeah, it's almost like WWE misses tons of booking opportunities. Could you imagine if that whole thing had been taken seriously? We might be halfway to Champion Heath right now.
Oh no, we're a quarter of the way there. He's released. So the the 3-man band prophecy must be fulfilled.
Fingers crossed, brother.
We had Gender. We have Drew. We need Heath.
Yeah.
When he comes back, it's gonna start with like a sick ass like 90s power metal whammy bar thing, and you're just gonna hear this metal singer scream, "I'm just one man."
Yeah, and
everybody's gonna go fucking hype. It's like,
and he'll come out looking like Moxley, but with Sting face paint. Yeah, this match was pretty good. The only thing I didn't like about it was the post match angle, just because it was obviously botched. But it's like, can you really blame them, because the beer keg clearly broke on them?
Yeah, they tried to make it work as best they could. They probably could have went a little bit faster. It was like, oh, I can't make him ass chug this. Let me just pick it up and like bash him with it.
Yeah, that's probably what I would have done, but you're a wrestler. Obviously, you're going to go to your finisher as the second kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then we had Robert Roode taking on Kaz, because Robert Roode's manager at the time has the hots for Kaz.
And Kaz is reciprocating. Let's not bury the lead. Like, he's being like, yeah, no, you're cute. Let me blow you a kiss.
You know what's hilarious?
Kaz has hair.
That, and the Elite ripped this off for Flip Gordon versus Cody. Like, I've been watching through old BTE. This is literally the same shit of like him just trying to be nice to the lady friend, and the lady friend reciprocating, and it being, oh, you trying to steal my woman, I'm gonna beat your ass.
I mean, didn't they both steal it from Hulk Hogan, Randy Savage, and Miss Elizabeth?
Oh my god. Oh my god.
It's almost as if nothing in wrestling is fucking original.
Oh, I love this medium. This was an okay match.
Yes, it's just really fucking weird to see Robert Roode with long hair and Kaz with hair at all.
Yeah. Also just made me go like, man, why aren't, like, a lot of this was, there is so much wasted potential in WWE, because like you look at Robert Roode here and you're like, why the fuck isn't this guy the center of the mid-card of evil? Why is it Baron Corbin? This guy is so much better at healing.
Because Baron Corbin didn't work in TNA.
Mm-hmm. But yeah,
but it's also it's extremely weird to see like Kaz not just go like, I see you.
Yeah.
Even though it's so much later that gimmick started. That's a very recent thing, and he's been in the industry since what, the 90s?
Yeah, it's the SCU guys are all really interesting because they've been around for fucking ever, but SCU is the first thing that's gotten. Oh yeah, that's right. Scorpio is a fairly new guy, but the SCU is the first thing that's gotten those guys super noticed.
Yeah, and they've been noticed. They've been fan favorites, and we'll get to Christopher Daniels, who's also in this pay-per-view later.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, decent match. Roode wins, and I think the whole thing is like a storyline that's ongoing after this. So
yeah,
we'll maybe one day find out if you and I ever dig back through TNA archives. But then we had my match of the night: Black Machismo Jay Lethal versus Kurt Angle for the X Division Championship, which I didn't know what the fuck the X Division Championship was going into this. I'm guessing it's like their goofy gimmick division.
I think it's a cross between like a hardcore and a cruiserweight, because like, as far as I know, a major match in the X Division is the X Division match, where they have like an erected structure that makes an X, and they hang the belt in the middle, and you have to climb the structure into the middle of the ring like monkey bars to get to the belt to win.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah, so I think it's just like, But it's also like where they put a lot of their lighter dudes, so it's kind of a cruiserweight title, but not necessarily one.
It's kind of like the IWGP light heavyweight title, I'd guess.
Yeah, but like I know the current X Division champ is like a chunky dude. I think it's a cruiserweight title by the fact that you have to be kind of small in order to climb the structure good. Kind of thing.
That makes sense.
You know?
Yeah. But this was super interesting because earlier in the night, Black Machismo cut a backstage promo, and I instantly was kind of what's a good term for it? Put off from the dude, just because it just came off as like, oh, remember Randy Savage was a thing? Here's some more names that you might remember are a thing. Do you remember these things? Buy the merch. But then when he actually came out, the remix of the theme they did for him was awesome. And then this match was fucking incredible. It's just a 15-minute clinic of young guy versus old guy. I like, there's an amazing spot where Kurt Angle is trying to grab at Black Machismo, and he instead like pops up and gets him in a scissor lock and tosses Kurt Angle to the mat, and then goes to run to the ropes for the elbow, and Kurt Angle just pops up and gets him in the angle lock. It's fucking awesome, the kind of spots they put together for this match.
And a lot of smooth ones. That's the thing I was noticing is like they popped into they like had a lot of great transitions in this match.
Mm-hmm.
Really solid. Also, this is when I first noticed that Kurt Angle had a really big fucking mouth guard, and it looked kind of funny, but like in an intimidating way.
Yeah, it makes him look so different than the way he does in WWE. And like up until that point, the whole pay-per-view, I was going like, why does he look different? Is he like kind of skinnier? Like the shape of his head looks different to me. What's going on? And then like you said, in this match, you notice the mouth guard, and it's like, oh, that's it. That one little thing completely sets off the Kurt Angle silhouette you have in your head.
Yeah, because the Kurt Angle silhouette I have in my head right now is basically Potato Man.
Hey, Kurt got released on Black Wednesday. He should make that shirt. Oh my god. But yeah, this match was so fucking good. Like, and it's on YouTube for free now. It's one of the 2 matches from this pay-per-view that's on the official Impact channel. So if you're listening to this podcast and maybe you don't want to go back and try and find the pay-per-view, because I will admit it was a bit of a pain in the ass for us, go watch this match. It's 15 minutes, and it's one of the best old guy versus young guy matches I've ever seen.
Also, I really like how Jay Lethal incorporated some classic Macho Man moves into his repertoire, but it didn't feel like he was just doing Macho moves.
Mm-hmm. It feels like a homage rather than just a straight nostalgia gimmick.
Yeah, similar to, not exactly, it's not a one-to-one, but similar to how Velveteen Dream kind of is like a Rick Rude.
Mm-hmm. But after that, we went from the best match of the night to what, in my opinion, is the worst match of the night. Black Reign versus Chris Harris.
Ooh. Remember earlier when I was going like, oh, hey, it's that guy. Oh, hey, it's that guy. Oh, no, it's that guy. This is that, oh, no, it's that guy. Because for the audience who doesn't know who Black Reign is,
there's a whole thing with this pay-per-view and a whole thing with TNA in this era in general, where like there's a lot of cool nostalgia guys from WWE here,
and
but all of them are there.
WCW.
Oh, WWE, ECW even, but most of them are there because they've got fucked up shit going on in their lives right now, and this is the only place that'll hire them. Dustin Rhodes.
There's only one. There's one I think doesn't like not included in that bracket, and we'll get to him.
Yeah. But at this point in his life, Dustin Rhodes was an extreme alcoholic. He was taking shit tons of pills, and he was fat as fuck. So what did TNA do? They said, let's hire this motherfucker and let's put him in an all black leather costume, face paint and a wig, and make him act like the Undertaker's creepy little brother.
It's not a good look.
It's so uncomfortable and none of it works. This match is so awkward. And the fucking finish where Chris Harris wins, but then Black Rain beats him up to the point where he gets knocked out and then awkwardly puts a rat across his body because they're clearly going for like the Jake the Snake thing, but it doesn't work. It's so weird. It comes off like somebody backstage just had a fetish they really needed to get out of their system.
Oh, yes, it feels like that. If I can really briefly talk about the one weird thing that just took me out of the match the most. Like, yes, Dustin in that shape breaks my heart. I think this podcast can be a full-on We Love Dustin podcast.
Oh yeah, like Dustin was on the AEW or I listened to his episode of the AEW podcast this week, and it just made me love the man so much. It's a fantastic interview if you haven't listened to it.
The thing that fucked with me the most was the fact that his face paint looked like he had a fucking mustache.
I did not notice that, but I don't doubt that it was there.
Real quick, go fucking Google Black Rain Dustin Rhodes, look at that face paint, and tell me he doesn't have a fucking painted on mustache.
Okay. Oh my god, I can never unsee it. Oh my god, this is... You have ruined everything forever.
It's a shitty ass fucking mustache and it looks so bad.
Oh, and now I'm just basking in how horrible this gimmick looks.
It's so bad.
It's like the worst of mid-2000s Hot Topic kids.
Oh, on a man who's probably what? 30, late 30s at that point in time?
Mm-hmm.
Imagine that. A man in his early 50s is more in shape than he was in his late 30s.
And in his 30s, he's in the same fucking shape as Augustus Gloop.
God.
It's like I know the whole joke with this pay-per-view is they made Kurt Angle work a whole ton, but he was in the middle of a huge painkiller addiction and he and his wife were possibly going to get a divorce. But like Kurt Angle is working on a freakish amazing level and he looks great in all of his matches. Dustin has the same level of bad shit going on in his life and it shows.
Yeah. We love you, Dustin. We don't love this, Dustin. Not because we don't appreciate what you've been through, but because we see what you become, and this just hurts our heart.
Mm-hmm. It's like, this is... I was watching fucking Trope Talk earlier today, their episode on The Darkest Hour. This is the darkest hour in the Dustin Rhodes story.
This is a lot of wrestlers' darkest hour is TNA.
Mm-hmm. But let's move on from that and go on to something a little more fun. We have the tag team gauntlet match to determine the number one contender team for the champion, which was just won by Ron Killings and Pac-Man. This was cool.
This was cool, but it takes you a second to figure out what the rules are.
Yeah, because it's one of those matches. This isn't a typical, like, one team is in the ring, another team comes out, they fight, whichever team wins, another team comes out and fights them. It wasn't that kind of gauntlet match. This was the Royal Rumble, but with tag teams. So each team, the individual members came out separately, and then when it was down to the equivalent of two teams, the other members came back in and they just had a straight-up tag team match.
the best way to put it is like 1 part Royal Rumble, 1 part War Games, 1 part Gauntlet match.
Mm-hmm. Because every promotion wants to do the Royal Rumble, but the Royal Rumble is copywritten, so they have to come up with a convoluted version of the Royal Rumble.
Hence the Casino Battle Royale from AEW.
Yep. But honestly, I did enjoy this quite a bit. It was just fun seeing like all these random ass people. Like I had no idea Raven was in TNA at the time, so seeing him just coming out looking again like a 2000s Hot Topic kid was kind of fun.
AJ Styles was in this, but he's just he's not the phenomenal one. AJ Styles, it's still like babyface boy with trunks.
And you got he's in a faction with Christian, and Christian is like, go out there and be like your idol. Go out there and become a champion. ... But Barry Sanders never won a championship. Oh my god. It's so like, again, it's just really crazy to see where some of these people that now I know in a completely different light we're at, and I think that's going to be the fun of us looking back and doing classic pay-per-views, because this is the first one we've done. So yeah. There's going to be more of this kind of goofy in the future for us, and I'm excited about it.
Also, the original LAX.
Yeah, who are now the Proud and Powerful. No. That's the second LAX. The original LAX are in NWA right now.
Yep, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, it's like interesting to see the origins of like one of our current favorite tag teams of Proud and Powerful.
Yeah.
Of like this isn't them, but this is the genesis of what they would be.
Also, is it? Did you know about the Voodoo Kin Mafia going into this?
No.
Because I've always known about it, but it's one of those things where I forget about it until something brings it up to me. So I always see it and pop for it in that, oh my god, that was a thing, wasn't it, kind of way.
Also, we had the fucking Road Dogg, Billy Gunn. They couldn't be Road Dogg and Billy Gunn.
Yeah.
They looked fine, though. They didn't look bad.
No, they weren't. I think they were in good shape, and they probably just got fired because, we don't need you for DX anymore.
Yeah.
But they do some pretty good stuff in this match, and it's just a fun time all around. And hey, AJ and freaking Tomko, who I had to look up, they win, and they're the #1 contenders, which had to have been cool for Tomko at the time, because they bring up he's a current New Japan Tag Champion.
But I think it's safe to say we're retroactively Billy Gunn fans just because of all the cool shit he's been doing in AEW.
Oh no! Like, if you're in AEW and you're an old person, I am retroactively a fan of you. Like, yeah. I always thought Jake the Snake was an interesting gimmick, but now that he's Lance Archer's manager, I'm like, I gotta track down that Elite flashback Jake the Snake. I gotta get me one of those.
Yeah, but like, you see Billy Gunn and he's teaming with his son and he's like having all these fun goofs. I remember the one skit they had in the Elite of like, the dude said like, oh, Billy Gunn, your son's favorite member of DX is Road Dogg. And Billy Gunn goes like to his son and goes like, hey, who's your favorite member of DX? And he goes like, oh, Dad, it's Road Dogg.
It's good times. But anything else to say on this match?
No. This is the first time I noticed that they have 2 entrances, one for faces, one for heels, at complete opposite ends of the arena. But because you never see the whole arena in one shot, you never notice. It always looked like it was the same entrance.
You know, I've never studied the Impact Zone, which is where this pay-per-view takes place from. But that's actually a really great concept. I wish more promotions would do that.
I mean, AEW kind of does it, but they're in the same area, so you can tell what's happening.
Yeah, it's just tubes on other side of the stage.
Tubes.
Yeah. How does
Into
AEW
the
work?
tube.
How does AEW work? It's a system of tubes and wires.
Tubes.
Yeah. But then we had our semi-main event of Christian Cage versus Samoa Joe with dancers.
Goddamn, I never realized Samoa Joe had the fucking Usos gimmick.
And he made it work. It's kind of badass. And like this whole match is happening because Christian Cage beat up some of his dancers who are also apparently family members of his. And he's like, "You don't fuck with my family, bro." And it's like a really solid storyline for the two of them. And man, I like Samoa Joe now. I think he's one of the few guys from this that you could say has actually been given a fair shake in WWE. But young Samoa Joe, ooh, this is good S word.
Yeah. And also, real quick, Christian was pretty good in this.
Yeah, like I have next to no experience with Christian, but I liked him in this, and it led me to wonder, like, why wasn't he in WWE at the time? Because he's still pretty good right here.
Because they had Edge and they didn't care.
God damn it, Vince.
You know that's the reason.
Yeah. But yeah, this match was fucking great. So much cool action and a lot of great spots. I can't remember any specific ones because I watched this a week ago. But I do remember that this ended in a DQ, which was kind of bullshit. But I understand they probably wanted to continue the feud or something.
Yeah. But yeah, it was fun action while it lasted.
Yeah. And then we went on to the main event of Kurt Angle defending the TNA World Heavyweight Championship against Abyss.
Otherwise known as TNA's version of Mankind / Undertaker.
Yep. They're workhorse spooky boy. And
from everything I've heard, he was a good workhorse spooky boy. Like, he was well loved.
Yeah, he was like the locker room leader there for a long ass time. And I only really know him from Broken Matt, so this was my first time seeing him work without a bunch of kids backing him up. It's pretty good.
Yeah, it was great.
I like how Kurt is like constantly intimidated by him because he's taller, and so Kurt's like doing all this shit to kind of try and get on his level. Like there's a point where he like goes to square up with Abyss and he stands on his tippy toes.
Yeah, but that also plays into the match because Kurt's just fucking going for the leg.
Yeah.
Oh, I just realized we didn't mention Christopher Daniels.
Oh yeah, Christopher Daniels was in the tag team gauntlet match. It was cool seeing him.
It was so fucking weird because he has a full beard and it's like, that looks so cool. Why don't you have that more often, Christopher Daniels? And then you realize, oh, wait a second, he looks like a reject from the Matrix. That's why he doesn't have it now.
That's great.
You know that. You, like, come on.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, this the main event, fucking, I don't know. This match was really good. I liked it. It was a solid main event, and the whole story of like Kurt just desperately trying to hang on to that last belt and managing to do so, was pretty neat. I liked that it ends with him just being like, yes, I fucking did it. I saved one of my championships. I'm the best. Look at me. Aren't I cool? And then it's like, yeah, that's great. That's good, Kurt. Here's a little angle to end off the show where Abyss gets dragged into literal hell.
Yeah. This feels like it's very much a great like season finale of TNA. Like this was like the end of a lot of their angles to set up a couple new ones that they wanted to work on. But like this was the end of the Kurt has all the gold season.
Yeah. But overall, I'd say I liked this show. There were a few big fat stinkers, but the good matches outweighed the bad, and what was good was pretty freaking good. Like genuinely, I would say I recommend this show to people who haven't seen it before. What about you?
I would say yes, but also like you don't have to watch everything. You can skip around if you want. If you want to focus on a couple matches, focus on those. Especially because if you're watching in isolation, you don't get all of the story that they're building on.
Yeah. Like, I'd say the must-see matches are probably Cage versus Joe, Lethal versus Angle, and the tag team gauntlet match.
I'd also would say Angle Abyss.
Okay.
It had enough going for it in the match itself for me to say that.
Yeah.
And if you are willing to be a little bit lost in the woods, the rest of the matches are pretty good. Robert Roode and
what?
Kaz.
Oh
Kaz
yes,
match.
yes. Okay. And Storm and Rhino.
Yeah.
And like if you're into goofy bullshit and weird factoids like me, the tag team championship match is fine.
Yeah. Like avoid the Dustin match.
Yeah, don't come near that with a 30-yard pole. And what was the other one I didn't like? Yeah, Rude v. Kaz is kind of a skippable one to me, but I can see why people would like it.
Like, here's the thing: if you're a fan of the SCU, definitely watch the Kaz and the Gauntlet match because it's fun just to see them as younger guys cutting their teeth, cutting their already like 10-year-old teeth.
You do know that one of Christopher Daniels' first television appearances was one of the last episodes of Monday Nitro, right?
Oh God.
Yeah.
He got to be. Oh man, I want to see like a list of everybody who was in WCW who is now in AEW.
That'd be interesting.
Because we have Dustin, we have Jericho. I'm pretty sure you can consider Arn and Jake.
Yeah.
Tully?
I don't know about Tully. I'd have to look into that.
See, Tully was part of the Four Horsemen.
I mean, Cody has talked about being backstage a lot of times, so you could count him technically.
Technically.
Cody is honorary WCW.
Cody is WCW purely by the fact that all of his matches are basically WCW matches.
Yeah, and by the fact that the guy who made WCW great is the guy who made him.
He is Dustin's greatest WCW match.
God damn it. Hey, you want to find out what we're gonna talk about next time?
Fuck yeah, let's do it.
All right, I'm hitting the button. Oh, this is one of your weird shits, I bet. Fishbone, Truth, and Soul.
Fishbone is one of my favorite bands.
Okay.
Okay, the best way to put it is they're basically... They kind of have a similar sound to Red Hot Chili Peppers, but it's not exactly. They're funk, they're ska, they're punk, they're rock, they're metal. They're all black. And they never got their due.
Interesting.
They're a cult band that if you love Fishbone, you love Fishbone. They're great. But if, like, they had, like, a couple big hits, but they never broke through to the mainstream.
Huh. Okay. I'll look forward to this then. So, since this is already a pretty big wrestling episode and we've already gotten kind of off the rails, do you want to go for a return of the MMWP segment?
Yeah.
Excellent. So let's just hop right into it. COVID in the bank. Your thoughts?
It's neat seeing Otis win. It's really cool seeing Asuka win, especially knowing what happens the next night.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second.
Overall, it's okay.
Did you actually
they worked
watch
with what they? No, I did not watch it.
Because I saw all the clips and all the little cameos online, and then I was like, man, this seems neat. I was pretty pissed off at you guys because of Black Wednesday, and I haven't watched anything in weeks because of that. Even AEW, I was like, I just don't want to watch current wrestling right now. But I think I'll hop back in and see if this is actually good. And the internet seems pretty torn on that Money in the Bank match because it's technically one match, but there's two matches going on at the same time, and you take
honestly, that's a brilliant idea, and they should keep it.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I watched it, and my opinion on it can basically be summed up as all the stuff at the Performance Center was boring as sin. Like, literally, I'm so sick of Performance Center matches. I've only seen a handful of them compared to everybody else, but they are the most boring shit in the world. And the actual Money in the Bank match was pretty fun. I get why other people don't like it, but I enjoyed it for the goofy bullshit that it was.
Corbin committed double homicide.
No, it's fine. You see, they fell onto a secondary roof just beneath the main roof.
Yeah, the secondary roof that we've never seen in any goddamn pictures of fucking Titan Towers.
Yeah, no, they had a crash pad down there, and those guys were prepared because apparently, per Becky, Vince demonstrated how to jump off the roof of Titan Towers. Because that man is a psychopath.
That man's going to die by demonstrating a stunt for a performer when he's 90.
Yeah.
And he's going to shit himself while doing it. It's going to be hilarious, and the WWE is going to deny it the entire time.
Hey, Johnny, come over here. Let me show you how to do a pile driver. Okay, boss. Because that's what Johnny Gargano sounds like.
He's not... Where was that fucking accent? Because isn't he from, like, fucking Cleveland?
That was just my baby boy voice. Okay, let's do it. But yeah, COVID in the Bank.
That doesn't sound like Marco Stunt either.
Listen, buddy. COVID in the Bank was fun. I think my favorite part was the giant food fight where Daniel Bryan is yelling "Hiya" as he throws pies.
Daniel Bryan not giving a fuck and just having fun is best Daniel Bryan.
Yeah. Super glad Asuka won. She's now basically because of the next night, she's basically got every accolade you can possibly get in WWE. So you know what? I've gone from WWE misuses her to, you know what? We all need to shut up about the fact that Asuka hasn't been treated right in WWE. She's actually been treated pretty well, just not consistently.
Yeah. It's like, oh, cool. Asuka's getting a lot of shit to do. Wait, where's Asuka?
Yeah.
And to a certain extent, that's a good idea because, hey, we're not getting tired of fucking Asuka. I'd hate to get tired of Asuka.
Could you imagine if Asuka was pushed on the same level of, like, Charlotte or Roman?
Oh, I could definitely see it getting, like, very grating, especially for, like, normies who don't fucking like Japanese being yelled in their ear.
Yeah.
I mean, for shits like us who go, like, yeah, no, fuck anime. Yeah, that's great. Like, we can go, like, yeah, give us the rolled R delinquent fucking Japanese.
But right now, it does look like we're going to be seeing a lot more Asuka just because still coming into work every week when she technically lives in another country where she has a husband and a son during all of this shit. She was just like, nah, I'm just going to buy an apartment in Florida and chill.
I mean, to a certain extent, it's commendable, but to a certain extent, it's like, fuck you for making her do that.
Mm-hmm.
making her feel like she should do that, you know?
Yeah, but that's the WWE way, and yeah.
We'll talk about the WWE way in a bit. Don't you fucking worry.
Mm-hmm. So let's just jump right into the big cool thing. Becky's preggers.
Yeah, Seth works stiff.
God damn it, Seth. And she put the belt in the Money in the Bank case, and she just said, "Hey, Asuka, I'm gonna open this for you. Hey, look at that. Look at that belt. That belt's yours. Have a nice time. I'm gonna go have Babby."
And it wasn't very much. It wasn't like, "Hey, I'm just giving you the belt." It was, "Hey, I already talked to management and basically made the Money in the Bank match for the title. You earned the belt anyway. It's just I wanted to give you this cool surprise when I surprised the audience."
Mm-hmm. And I posted this in a certain Discord server, and another gentleman basically wrote this huge rant about how he hated the angle and he felt like it was only happening because Becky got pregnant and it made no goddamn sense. And Becky's run has been so mediocre and this, that, and the other thing. And I'm like, okay, look, I'll admit Becky's title run hasn't been the best, but this shit makes perfect sense in kayfabe. Because just a few months ago, we were having a storyline where Becky was going to have to face Asuka for the title, and the entire time, she wasn't sure if she was ready for Asuka. So for her to come out and go like, no, Asuka won it. I'm happy Asuka won it because Asuka is amazing. You go off and you be a warrior. That feels perfectly in character for Becky to me.
Yeah, especially because it wasn't like, "I'm just giving the belt to Asuka." It was, no, Asuka earned it, and Becky just like, "Hey, here you go. I'm handing it off. It's your belt now."
Mm-hmm. And you called it. They are turning Asuka babyface with this because they had the big embrace and the big happy, like, "Oh, you're gonna be a mom. I'm a mom. That's awesome.
Congratulations. Because Asuka kept her attitude up till that point, and she was like, I'm the winner. I'm the best. I'm the champ. She's great. I'm great." All that kind of stuff.
I think
and then
they
Becky goes,
literally just told her celebrate all around the area and then come back in the ring. Becky has something to tell you.
and then Becky goes like, "Yeah, no, you are great. And I'm gonna go be a mom." And then Asuka just has a second. It's like, what did she just say? My English isn't. She just said she's, oh my god, pregnant? Yep. Oh shit. And she genuinely had this like, "Oh fuck, congratulations." And then
she tries to start a Becky chant even though no one's there.
If I was in the back, I'd have been telling everybody on headset, "You fucking chant for Becky right now."
Yeah.
This is a too cute of a moment.
But the next or this week for us recording at the moment, because we are recording on Friday, the 22nd of April, 2020, or May 2020. I'm a fucking retard. This week on Raw, they did a whole storyline where Asuka and Kairi were celebrating that Asuka has the belt now, and then Nia Jax comes out and she's like, you got a fucking temp job. This is bullshit. I'm taking that belt from you." And then she attacked Kairi backstage, which I'm thinking is how they're writing Kairi out because it looks like Kairi's not going to resign. And then Asuka is just like, "You fucked up my friend. I'm gonna fuck you up." And that's where we're at with Asuka right now, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I pitched when this whole stuff started with the pregnancy and like, oh, she won, that she basically goes like, "No, I'm a fucking fighting champion, and I'm just gonna keep defending the belt until Becky gets back, and then we're gonna have the match."
Mm-hmm. So, building off of that, I've come up with how I want Becky and Seth to come back because Seth's probably going to go away for a little bit too pretty soon. Would you like to hear my Adam Blaupied fantasy booking of how Seth and Becky should come back?
Go on.
So, right now on Raw, you have Seth like trying to rebuild the Messiah Maniacs in the absence of AOP, but also slightly on edge and losing it and like doing fucked up shit to Legends. Like he tried to take Rey Mysterio's eye out of its socket. And he just recruited a new guy, and I think that's going to set up for these two guys still being there in the tag division to keep the Messiah Maniac thing in people's minds while Seth is gone. So what I think they should do is for the next month or two, however much longer he's going to stay, just have him keep talking about how great he is, and keep having Murphy and Fury, have them keep winning. But Seth keeps getting his ass beat when he's on his own. Seth consistently needs to lose for the next little bit, and have him just get more and more frustrated with himself. Like, I can teach these guys. These guys are doing great because of stuff I tell them to do. Why can't I get my shit together? And then he has a really big, devastating loss. Like, maybe fucking... Oh, who's a good pull? I don't know. Maybe pull Triple H out to beat his ass or something. But he gets a really bad loss, and then he leaves to go on maternity leave.
Paternity,
sorry. And then he's gone for like a month. And then you start running vlog segments on Raw. Every week we get an update, a new installment of Seth Rollins' journey to fatherhood, in the style of Randy Orton's old recovery promos. Do you know about these, Chris?
No.
So back in the day when Randy Orton was a new guy rookie, he almost immediately picked up a really bad shoulder injury and had to be put on the shelf for a good little while. But because this was back before WWE just immediately buried people with injuries, they said, oh, we want to actually do stuff with this guy when he gets back, so let's try and keep him in people's minds. So he kept coming to Raw or SmackDown or whatever show it was he was on at the time, during his recovery, and he would cut these backstage Randy Orton injury update promos where he would act like everybody loves him and knows who he is, and he's this great beloved babyface, but he's doing it in this really stupid, unaware of himself, heelish way where he's like, "Hi, I'm Randy Orton, the face of Monday Night Raw. Today, my doctors told me I regained 7.5% movement in my upper tricep. I am that much closer to returning to Monday Night Raw. I know you all cannot wait to see me back on your screens and in the ring." And that was basically what led up to him joining Evolution, because he did that almost immediately after he got back. So with Seth, what I would do is I'd have him just cut these cell phone promos from him and Becky's apartment or house or whatever they have. And he's just talking about like, "Hello, everyone. This is Seth Rollins, the Monday Night Messiah. I don't know if you've heard, but my girlfriend is Becky Lynch." Or it'll probably be my wife by that point. "My wife is Becky Lynch, and she is pregnant with our first child. This is my journey to fatherhood. This is my chance to prove what a great leader I am by molding and shaping a young mind. And I want all of you along with me on this journey." And do something like this every week, just like a different thing of him getting ready for having a baby. All the while, every like little once in a while in one of these promos, you just catch a glimpse of Becky in the background, like rolling her eyes at him, being like, "Are you fucking kidding me? This shit again?" And then maybe like a week before the baby is due, you have him cutting one of these promos, and then he makes just an offhanded comment about the way Becky looks. Like it's the first time he's acknowledged her in any of the promos, and he just says like, well, I can't wait for the baby to be born because that means we can start training for our return, honey. Aren't you excited to tighten up that post baby belly?" and she just goes off on him. Like, they explode into a full-on argument. He puts the phone down, and you just hear them shouting for like a minute or two before it cuts off. And then it's done. You don't hear anything about them until the Royal Rumble. Because the Royal Rumble is usually end of January, beginning or middle of February. Baby is due in December. So I think that would be enough time for them. At the Royal Rumble, they both return in the Rumble and win. And the way they win is by helping each other. Seth interferes in the women's Rumble, Becky interferes in the men's Rumble. And they do entrances together. Like, you have Becky come out, and Seth is holding the baby and smiling, and then he walks to the back, and then later he comes out from the other side of the stadium or whatever. Same thing with Becky in Seth's match. And you have them come back on Raw the next night, and they're like, while we were off having our child, welcoming it into the world over the last few weeks, we did a lot of thinking and a lot of discussing about our relationship and where it's taking us and the kind of people we want to be, the kind of parents we want to be. And we want to fight for our family. We want to stand up for our family, just like we stand up for the fans of WWE every week. Becky's a Messiah maniac now. And you have them healing it the fuck up, being like, we are doing this for our family. We are out here to put food on our table, and we are going to stop anyone who gets in our way. And you just lead into all these great feuds with Charlotte, with Roman, with Asuka, about, like, just very simply, these baby faces coming to their now heel friends and being like, you keep talking about family. I know something about family, and this is about as far from family as you can get.
You can't bring that young a baby on the road in front of that big of an audience.
That's fair. Maybe not actually do that.
But also, if Seth Rollins disappears, it needs to be for 3 months.
Fair enough.
Do you understand why?
Is that like the federal standard for parental leave?
No. Jesus was inside the tomb for 3 days.
You motherfucker. Okay, so you have him leave in November.
Come on, dude.
But yeah, that's my big goofy idea, and I like it a lot.
Can we talk about WWE pissing off me?
Well, which time are you talking about?
The fact that they took the fucking belt off of goddamn Sami Zayn.
Yeah, okay, we're going into that. So, COVID is a thing, and certain people are choosing not to work because of that. And WWE had said that it was fine. You wouldn't lose your push or any standing in the company. And then Sami Zayn said it, and Sami Zayn is kind of an anarchist.
He's lefty. He's definitively leftist, but he's playing an anarchist.
He's super fucking left, and he's playing an anarchist, and WWE is not a fan of people who act that way. Remember back
ask Jesse Ventura.
Remember back when Daniel Bryan was doing the environmentalist gimmick?
Yeah.
The reason he stopped doing it after Mania when he dropped the belt to Kofi was because WWE told him he had to. They said like, this is not making people happy, it's making us look really bad because we employ you. We need to cut it out. And he's like, this is the most interesting character work I've gotten to do since I came back. Are you fucking kidding me?
The big shame is, even if he was in AEW, I still would be a little hesitant to say that they'd be all for it too.
Mm-hmm.
They'd be probably more for it, but they'd be going like, "Hey, could you not exactly do that?"
tone it down just a smidge. Just a smidge, please.
WWE wants it at 0. AEW would probably be like, can you keep it at like a 6? Sometimes a 7?
Yeah. Maybe an 8 for All Out, but that would be the only time.
Well, if we made a wrestling promotion, it's at 11 the entire time.
Yeah.
David Starr's our primary David Starr's our primary baby face.
This wrestler, his gimmick is that he doesn't like kids. He comes out and punches actual children in the audience every week.
No shit.
But yeah, that's bullshit. I really don't like that, and I'm not looking forward to getting to that point when I do my WWE catch up next week, because this week I was catching up on AEW because at the time of recording, Double or Nothing is tomorrow night, and even though it's gonna be a crowdless pay-per-view, which is a really weird concept that I'm still not used to, I'm pretty fucking hype.
Oh yeah, no, I'm excited for Double or Nothing. Double or Nothing, right?
Every match on the Double or Nothing card this year is a fucking banger in concept.
Oh yeah, like they just all look fun. It's like the ladder match is going to be great.
Flipping Spears versus Rhodes again, but different.
Different road. It's the road less traveled.
And like, I know there are people who are probably upset we're not getting Blood and Guts, but I'm genuinely more excited for the Stadium Stampede than I was for Blood and Guts, just because it's a new match, never before done, and it's a cool concept.
I'm also hyped for both the women's matches. They both look extremely fun.
Mm-hmm. And I know everybody in their predictions is saying that it's not going to happen, but god damn it, I'm pulling for that belt to go on Hikaru's waist.
Yeah, no, I think it's too soon. I definitely feel like this should be the darkest hour for her going for the belt.
Fair enough.
You know.
I also do agree with everyone, though, that Brody is definitely not winning.
Yeah, no. Mox is getting the belt back.
He is going to rain down a hailstorm of vengeance.
Yeah. So, okay, who do you think's going to be the 9th man in the ladder match?
It's like, a big part of me says it's just going to be someone they haven't used a lot on their roster, like a Sonny Kiss or an Austin Gunn. But also, I really hope it's either Drew Gulak or Sting.
I'm pushing for Gulak.
Yeah.
Especially because in this match, we also have Orange Cassidy, who used to wrestle with Drew Gulak when they were both ants.
Did you see that photo of them shirtless shaking hands like the fucking meme?
Fuck, man.
It's so good. Yeah, I am definitely leaning towards Gulak is gonna be in the ladder match. And I know you're thinking Sting is gonna show up in the Stadium Stampede, because for people who don't know, Sting's WWE contract ended a while ago, and he's been tweeting about AEW, so it's highly likely he's gonna show up there,
or at least attach his legendary status to AEW instead of WWE.
Mm-hmm. I kind of think that what they're going to do is, in the TNT Championship match, which I'm just gonna say it right here, Cody has been losing way too much. They need to put the belt on him, or he's gonna lose his clout if he keeps losing. Basically, is my opinion. I think what they're gonna do is Tyson is going to get involved in the match, and Archer is going to knock him the fuck out to make Lance Archer look like a badass. And then Cody will win, and then Cody or someone will be like, well, how the fuck are we going to get the belt now? Tyson was supposed to bring the belt out, and he's out cold right here. What are we going to do? Lights go down, crow caw, lights go up. There's Sting with the belt.
And see, here's my prediction: is Jericho's been using a bat a lot for some stuff. And
Hey, that bat has a name. Floyd. Respect him.
I'm sorry, Chris Jericho's been using Floyd a lot, who resembles a baseball bat. Mm-hmm. And one of Sting's most signature weapons is a baseball bat. And Sting's always a man about justice, and the inner circle has just been ganging up on the elite. So I can see him going like, "You've been fucking with these guys. Fuck you."
I will say I can picture in my head a moment in the Stadium Stampede where Jericho's got like maybe Kenny or Matt cornered, and they're already beat to shit, and they're just kind of lying there on the ground, not like begging for mercy, but just kind of out of it. And Jericho's clearly about to bash them in the head with the bat, and he goes to swing down, and just all of a sudden you see an arm from off camera come out and grab it, and then the camera pans over and it's Sting, and he rips the bat out of Jericho's hands, and Jericho just goes, "Oh shit," and runs like hell.
Oh shit, I was a young man when I last saw you. Shit, I don't want to fucking deal with this.
Yep.
It's that same internal fear of seeing your old high school principal when you're an adult.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh fuck.
Just son, you better not.
Here's a question: do you think the Stadium Stampede match is going to be a regular, just filmed live kind of match, or do you think it's going to be a cinematic match?
I hope it's a cinematic match. I think it's going to be filmed live.
Who knows?
Yeah.
But AEW's been awesome.
It has been very awesome lately. Fucking just Hangman pulling a Lancelot last week or this week.
Even Dark's been pretty good. I watched this last episode of Dark and it had some of the best fucking moments.
Did you see that episode with Cody versus Joe Alonzo and Anna Jay versus Britt Baker?
No, I need to go back and watch them then.
I posted it in my server. Those were great matches. Like it made me go, oh, Joe Alonzo needs to get signed and Anna Jay needs to get pushed.
Oh, Alan Angel needs to be fucking signed.
Yeah. Dude, Shug D needs to be signed. With all the work he's put in with that company over the last few weeks, give Pineapple Pete a contract.
Give Pineapple Pete, Alan Angel, they're AEW members now.
Mm-hmm.
I watched him in his last episode of Dark, which he was going up against Sammy Guevara, and I became just a big fan of him. I love him. He's great.
Nice.
And also that episode of Dark had my fucking favorite fucking joke out of AEW so far. Fucking Rick Knox is counting 1, 2, 3, but in Spanish for Rey Fenix. He lets go and goes like, "What are you doing? I don't speak Spanish. No Spanish."
In the thickest Mexican accent you've ever heard.
Yeah, and fucking Taz and Excalibur just started busting out laughing, and they were like, "What the fuck?" Apparently he doesn't speak Spanish.
All right. Well, our recording software just shat the bed, and we had to do some jiggery pokery. So we're just going to move into what we've been up to this week or this last couple weeks, because we had a bit of a gap there. But
yeah.
So Chris, why don't you give me a couple things that you've just been really into over the last little bit since we've recorded?
Well, first things first, I have a Switch. And if you've been following the Switch, you know that there's been a problem with the Joy-Cons. The joysticks tend to drift a little bit. Mine started doing that, and so I went like, you know what, fuck it. There's a controller I've been wanting to play, I've been wanting to use. I'm just going to go ahead and get it. I've got it. It's now my favorite controller of all time.
Nice.
It's just that good of a controller. I loved it. It's the 8BitDo SN30 Plus.
Let me look this up.
So I got that, been playing Switch with it. but also it's just a regular Bluetooth controller. So I hooked it up to my computer, and I've been playing some emulator stuff. So some classic Hamtaro games from the Game Boy, some old school RPGs, some.
Oh, this thing's dope.
Yeah, it's basically a Super Nintendo controller with like all the extra buttons a modern controller needs.
Yeah, and it's got the PlayStation style layout and grips. I dig it.
No, that's the SN30 Pro Plus.
Oh.
SN30 Pro is the one I got. It's the one that doesn't have the grips.
Well, I would get the Plus, but that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't. To me, after getting the controller I got, I realized I don't like the grips because I like the grip. I like to hold the controllers in different ways, whichever comfortable at the time. And when you have a grip, you have to hold the grip.
See, my first controller or my first system was the PS2. So not having grips on a controller just feels weird to me.
And here's the thing. My first system was the PS1 with a DualShock.
Wow.
It was a hand-me-down that my dad just stopped playing, and I was like, all right, cool, you play with the PlayStation. And the first games he let me play was Twisted Metal.
I like how in your mind your dad just turned babyface for me.
Yeah, no, first game was like Twisted Metal, and then my parents bought me like a fucking. It wasn't a Game Shark, but it was like one of those things you put in the back of a PlayStation 1 to fucking let you copy games and just play ripped games. And so I just fucking played. So we just rent a game, and then my parents would just copy it and put on a CD-ROM for me. That's how I had Spyro and Toy Story 2, which fantastic game. I was also a dumb kid when I played video games, and I could never figure out what to do. So I never like got past the first level of those games. Yeah. But back on topic, my computer is to the point where it's crap and doesn't even want to play PlayStation games. It doesn't even want to play Nintendo 64, so I'm pretty much SNES and back, and Game Boy Color, that kind of stuff. So got some Genesis, got some games like that. It's just fun to play, and because it doesn't take that much on my computer, I got OBS. I can just fucking capture footage and start making videos about video games.
Nice.
But I've been doing that.
If you are going to start doing that, you might want to buy a new external hard drive, because I hear people who do video game videos tend to have like a shit ton of footage taking up space on their hard drives.
Yeah, I might not do it. Might not do it right now then, just because I don't have a ton of space on my computer as it is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping to get a new one soon. But yeah, just been reading comics, doing that kind of stuff. Haven't been watching much flipping anime or TV shows just because just haven't gotten into that mood.
That's fair. It's been kind of a blah month for everyone, I think.
Yeah.
Because COVID is very much a thing right now, and we are very much dealing with it as a society. Although I'm largely unaffected because I'm still working, and I have a full-on like 9-to-5 style job. So most of my day I'm completely unplugged from society. I just get home and I go like, okay, what stupid shit happened today? Okay, that's neat. I'm going to bed.
Yeah. I did listen to some new music. A French house artist named Mr. Wazo.
Okay.
Think of like Daft Punk on crack, like early Daft Punk on crack.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Should I go into some stuff then?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I read It by Stephen King.
Ooh.
Yeah. Never. I've. Stephen King is one of those authors where I always feel like I should read more of him, but I just never make the time. Like the book I've read from him that I know I really like is his book on writing. Um, I've not gotten super into his novels, but this is the first of like his big famous ones I've dived into. Uh, and I know he has the reputation for being long as fuck and that not being a good thing. Now that I've read this, because it took me a whole month to get through this book. I have been reading this since around the time I moved. Um, I think the only reason he has the reputation of his longness being bad is because of people looking at his books and going, "Oh, that's way too fucking long. I'm not going to read that." Because this book is long, but it is dense. It does not meander. It just goes into extreme detail about these characters, and every little detail, every little story, every scene you get with these characters just builds them up more and more and endears you towards them or makes you hate them more and more. And it's all perfect. It's all perfectly serviceable. It all serves a purpose in the story. And I'm sure it's like cut to ribbons for the movie. Not necessarily in a bad way, just like they chucked a whole ton of stuff. But I honestly cannot see removing a whole lot of this in order to make room for time. And also it's just a really, really fucking good story. Like I've always known things about it because I've watched reviews of the old miniseries, and the movies from a couple of years ago now were pretty big, so I learned about the story through osmosis there. But like in this book, King goes from writing horror to nostalgic fun to weird sci-fi back to Lovecraftian horror, all in the span of the same book. it's it's a masterful novel, and I it's one of the few books I've ever read that I'd give a full 10 out of 10 to.
Apparently, it's pretty connected to the Dark Tower series.
That's what I've heard. I want to read Dark Tower, but it's long as fuck, and also I hear like it references every one of his books up to that point in some way. So I'm like, I kind of want to read the whole rest of his library then before I get into that.
It's a weird concept to just he writes all these weird horror books and then he just goes like, hey, by the way, they're all part of a connected universe, fuck you.
It's a very I've earned clout and now I'm going to spend all of it kind of move.
And even then, that just gave him more clout because people went like, damn, these are fun, I like these.
Yeah. So I got quite a bit of toys over the last couple of weeks. I'm just gonna throw out the name of all the lines. You tell me which one you want to hear individual figures for. Uh, so G.I. Joe Valor versus Venom, Star Wars Revenge of the Sith, Rescue Heroes 2020, Marvel Legends, Power Rangers Lightning Collection, and WWE Elite Collection.
Okay, which WWE figures did you get?
I got Series 54 Charlotte Flair, which was Charlotte's first action figure, and it shows. I mean, it's pretty good. It looks like her. You can use it as a current Charlotte because it's in that blue gear with the robe, but it's pre-face scanning, so it looks a little awkward, and the articulation is not the best. Um, but it's a good stand-in for me until Ultimate Charlotte Flair comes out because they announced Ultimate Charlotte Flair over WrestleMania weekend, and I completely forgot about it until after I had bought this.
Why do I have a solid image in my head that Charlotte Flair's in your Supergirl like altar for some reason? I don't think she is, but it's just like,
No, she's with the WWE figures.
But I don't know why. Maybe it's just the blonde.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the tits.
God damn it, Vince. Stop it. Stop booking that way. I just called you Vince. You should be very mad right now.
I know. I realize why you call me Vince, because I just made a fucking joke about tits.
About blondes.
Oh yeah, blonde tits.
But then jumping way ahead, I got Series 70 free Kairi Sane, which is not Kabuki Warriors Kairi Sane, it's Pirate Princess Kairi Sane. And it's a pretty solid little figure. It comes with a shit ton of stuff. You get her jacket, you get which is 2 pieces, and it's plastic, so it's not a huge struggle to get it on and off. But you get her hat, you get her elbow pad, which you have to take on and off depending on whether she's wearing a jacket, and then you get the spyglass and the wheel.
Nice. Does the wheel spin, or is it just a static piece?
It's a static piece, but you can put it in her hand and pose her like she's spinning it.
Okay.
And yeah, it's a solid little figure. It does look a little awkward because it's in scale with the rest of the figures, so they made her shorter than everybody else. But that means they just used different legs, so it looks a little awkward. But you don't notice it unless you're looking for it. So it's kind of a catch-22 kind of a thing. But overall, it's solid. And then
that must make Zelina Vega the weirdest proportioned figure they have then.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of want to get a Zelina Vega to figure that out now. I think there's... Yeah, she was in a battle pack with Andrade, so I could track that down if I really wanted a Zelina. I'd probably just get a Zelina to put her next to Aleister Black.
Yeah.
Even though that's not kayfabe.
It's kayfabe in our hearts because they're adorable.
Yeah. From the same wave as Kairi, I got Planet's champion Daniel Bryan, who we were just talking about earlier, and that's a pretty good figure. The face scanning is a little off, but it's not terrible.
I wonder if it's because of the beard.
I think it is. Just having that version of the belt is really cool. Like, I've got him posed wearing it across his waist with his arms crossed, and it looks fucking great. It's a neat figure to have, especially because that's the only Daniel Bryan I currently own. I don't have a face Daniel right now.
What are you talking about? You have the biggest face Daniel.
I don't have a face Daniel to the general public. Okay, he's a face Daniel to us. And then from the Mania 36 tie-in wave, I got your WWE champion, Kofi Kingston.
I thought you were gonna talk about Big E.
I could use that for when I get a Big E figure, but Kofi is champion in my heart, and he's posed with the belt because he's got the original version, or he's got the current company standard version of the belt. And he's pretty good. I really liked being able to get a closer look at that gear. It's a really neat set of gear. However, I will say the face is really weird on him because it looks like they took a pretty good face scan and then stretched it across a head that's a little too big.
Odd. You know what you should do with a Kofi Kingston figure? You should get a Brock Lesnar figure and have him just like posing triumphantly over top of Brock Lesnar.
I probably will do that when I get a Brock eventually. Because I do plan to get a Brock. I said this off mic to Chris, but I got really psychotic over the last 2 nights, and I compiled a list of every wrestling figure I want to have.
Including every AEW figure that's going to happen eventually.
Yeah, every confirmed so far AEW figure is on the list. I've already got ringside exclusive Bubbly Jericho and the standard size ring for that line pre-ordered. Um, because I did measure my shelves, and there's no way I can fit the authentic scale ring. And then the last one I got was Woken Matt Hardy, because I already had the Network Spotlight one that comes with Vanguard and Skarsgård, which to me is broken Matt Hardy. Like I know he was going by Woken in the segment that figure is based off of, but it looks exactly like broken Matt Hardy, so it's TNA broken Matt Hardy to me. And then I got Woken Matt Hardy from the Mania 36 wave, which is him in the white gear he was wearing during the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal.
Nice.
Yeah. It's decent. The jacket looks a little big on him just because it's a big plastic piece, but it's not terrible, and it's fun having Broken and Woken Matt pose together.
Brilliant.
Yeah. I probably will eventually just have a display of every version of Matt Hardy, just the multiple faces of Matt. And one Jeff as Brother Nero just standing off to the side.
Just one. Don't even get a regular Jeff Hardy. Just one Jeff Hardy.
There is a Elite Collection Jeff that comes with multiple heads, one of which is meant to be him in Brother Nero mode. That's the Jeff I'm going after.
Brilliant. You're also gonna have to get a Matt Hardy AEW.
That's definitely going to go right on my list as soon as we get it revealed. Only other thing I could think to talk about is so how up are you on Transformers Cyberverse?
I know nothing, and I know that Thew's in it technically because there's a bot that looks like Thew.
Yeah, McAdam. Who, if you watch Transformers The Basics, there's a massive spoiler that got dropped about him because all of Cyberverse is aired in the UK. It is available to watch in the UK in full now because we're in season 3, and season 3 is going to be the last season. But it's still in the process of airing over here. So I watched episode 5 of season 3 this week. And the opening 4 episodes have been a big multi-parter about the Autobots finally taking Cybertron back from the Decepticons. Episode 5 opens with Bumblebee arriving at a big victory parade, and then we see Hot Rod and Shattered Glass Colors show up, and he tries to tell B he's in a trap, it's an illusion, the parade is not real. And then Hot Rod gets forced out of it, and we find out that there's been a time skip, and Cybertron has been taken over by the Quintessons and all the other Transformers except for Hot Rod, Clobber, and Perceptor are plugged into a Matrix-style illusion of a utopian Cybertron.
That's fucking weird.
Yeah, it's a huge swerve to go into for the final season's ending arc. And I kind of love it. Especially because...
Also, like, just neat to see Shattered Glass kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. And they're doing a really cool thing that I never would have thought to do, but is a brilliant idea for Perceptor, where because he's called Perceptor, he is the most perceptive Autobot, so he figured out the illusion all on his own, and then he got Hot Rod out, and in the process of doing that, he blinded himself. So now Perceptor is Transformers Daredevil.
That's fucking sick.
Yeah. It's super cool, and I can't wait to watch episode 6. I think we're up to episode 8 now, and there's 15 episodes in a season. So, I am super excited to see how Cyberverse progresses into its ending. And yeah, it's super dope. Definitely gonna go down as like a animated-esque, this show was great, why did it end after 3 seasons kind of a thing.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much everything I have for this week. So, Chris, why don't you go ahead and plug your shit?
Howdy, y'all. Jesus fucking Christ. That was like super fucking southern.
Yeah.
My name's Bungo Rider. Shit. This is gonna happen now, isn't it?
Wow, you're fucking it all up. Go for it.
I'm Bungo Rider. God damn. That fucking I'm Bungo Rider. I do video editorials. I have a channel on YouTube. It's Boingo Rider. You can find a link to that in the description, or you can just search Boingo Rider. You know how to fucking work a computer. I'm on Twitter and Instagram. I fucking hate Twitter, so I'm barely there. At Boingo_Rider. That's the same username on both platforms. And if you want, you can join my Discord server. We post shit and shit post.
Yeah. I am the Vacuuminator, a YouTube toy vlog man who is exiled no more. I do weekly vlogs about how my weekend goes and all the fun stuff I do in there. I broadcast from a cool place called the Vac Shack, and I'm also on the road showing off all kinds of cool places to go toy hunting to you. You can find my content at youtube.com/thevacuuminator. It's spelled VACWMINATOR. And you can also find me on social media at the Vacuuminator on Twitter and Instagram. It's a gay old time. And you know what else is? Analytical Fanboys. I bet you've had a gay old time listening to us chat tonight. So if you want to listen to us chat even more, go ahead and click that subscribe button and enable notifications to get every episode as it comes out. And if you want to listen to us on the go, scroll down to the video description and go to the Google Drive folder we have linked where there are MP3s of every episode we've ever done. And follow us on social media at the Modular Media on Twitter and r/Modular Media on Reddit for updates on the podcast and when it's coming out. But that's all there is to plug for now. So until next time, we'll see you later on Analytical Fanboys when we'll be discussing Fishbone, Truth, and Soul.